All right, good morning, everybody. I'm going to do a video today. It's been a while since I did a video. It's been a really crazy scenario that I've been dealing with for the last, I believe it's like 11 or 12 days since my last video. I'm going to make a point to try to get some more days in every week. But like I say, it's been really hectic getting this store shut down. We don't have that much time left. We're basically this month we're still not trending anything that's going to give us any extra money at the end, and I'm kind of concerned about our first 2 months of not having a retail store with everything catching up with what's due. Our target number at the new location is going to be like 45,000 a month. So that's not a easy number when you take retail out of it. And this is going to be a struggle, guys. This is not going to be something that's going to be easy to ramp up. Our eBay sales are getting more because it's fourth quarter, but we need it to actually 3 times what it's doing right now. We're talking about next steps with the location. We're actually in the middle of working through a lease right now. We haven't gotten it yet, but once we get it, we're going to do our counter, and then we're going to lock that in. We're going to pay them the 2 months of security deposit and 1 month's worth of rent. So it's 1 month security, 1 month rent. So it's 2 months total. We're going to try to get a 5-year lease with them, and then we're going to try to do where they give us 1 month per year that we sign. So I'm going to be really firm on that because I know that my next 6 months are going to be pretty rough because we actually have all of our loans due within 6 months. Once that 6 month hits, our monthly revenue needs to be gross. It needs to be like 27,000 just to break even. And I think that that's more attainable, but it's going to be these next 6 months that after we close a store that are going to be very detrimental that we get on board. We were talking about bringing back auctions. So I think what I'm going to do is bring back auctions on my Facebook group. I'm not going to run a platform. I'm actually going to get a system down where if people don't pay, we're going to just kick them out and just not let them back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up something where they can just pay for the auction on our website. So that's something that we're going to be working on. I wanted to give you guys a look to our back room. This is our processing area. We actually got through a lot of inventory the last week. We're going to have to put some more focus on it because I need to get everything out onto my sales floor. As you can see, that back wall, there's not a lot of pallets stacked anymore. There's just eBay and there's just 2 pallets of cereal back there. This is the look into the store. So everything's kind of like crowded up right here. This is all stuff that we're going to have to go through. I'm going to get a dumpster in a couple days. And then after this weekend, we're going to get a dumpster. And then we're going to start clearing this out. So here's my dock area here. As you can see, it's not as big of a mess, but it still is a mess. So yeah, we got inventory backed up. We got piles everywhere. We have death piles everywhere. We have pallets that we need to label. And what I'm going to do is my next space is going to be like 4,300 square feet. It's actually a pretty good warehouse. It's a little bit older of a building, so there's a spot for us to do our pictures, and then there's a huge warehouse that we can actually have warehouse sales too. So twice a month, we're going to be allowed to have warehouse sales. So later on down the road, once we get everything all set up, we're going to have those warehouse sales. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do like a flat price for the day, or if I'm just going to do something where all the stuff that we don't want to put on auction or put on eBay, that's the stuff that we sell. It's going to really be determined on how much of this inventory we're taking with us. And these watermelons that we got a bunch of them. We're going to use these to stack up our inventory. So when we get to the new space, I am going to have my forklift so I can stack these probably 5 high. 5 high will, be a safe way to do it. And then we're just going to, the whole middle of our warehouse is going to look like this with these stacks. So yeah, so we're just kind of figuring stuff out as we go. There's not really a lot we can do about if we get over there and we can't ramp up right away, there's not a lot we can do unless we do it now. Because when that time comes and we move into the other space, we need to be going at 100 and probably 150% or 200% full force. So we'll have between me and who else is going to go, we're going to have 4 employees total, and then we're going to have total of one um, one equivalent full timer. So I'm going to have 2 people split 40 hours, and then it's going to be me. We still haven't decided if Kathy's going to be bringing herself on board or if she's going to actually go back to work, just because the struggle is real, guys. We're going to be very lucky if we get through this without losing everything. So that's what this channel is about, guys. The channel's about me going from a garage to a whole warehouse, and then from warehouse going into a retail, and then going back into warehouse because the retail did not cut it. So that's kind of like the main message that I'm giving. I'm trying to give all my best practices. I'm trying to give you real problems that we're going through and solutions that we're taking. And basically what I'm hoping is everything all pans out. And this is just a really good story that everybody can learn from, without me having to lose everything that I got. Because, I'm in my 40s, and I don't have any retirement because all my retirement funds were put into everything that to get me to where I'm at today. So I really need to start thinking about the next steps in life. This 5-year lease is going to bring me into my 50s, because I'm actually closer to 50 than I am 40. So basically, what I'm hoping is the next stage, we go in full force, we pick up where we needed to pick up, and then I just, the way I look at it is I had a huge learning experience these last 5 years on things that I try to do to get myself into the next stage in life with not having to worry about working later. So I'm hoping that this lets you guys know, being self-employed is a very good thing. I'm never going to go back and work for anybody else. I'm going to always work for myself. But having something to sustain your lifestyle, that's something that's huge, guys. When you take these big risks like this, it could have rewarded me very, very well. Our store, the way our trajectory was going, this was supposed to be a $3 million a year operation that did not turn into a $3 million a year operation. It was basically, 1.4 million, to say the least. Breaking even, all the expenses, every penny that we put into this business did not come back to us. So what we got to do the next stage, we need to be profitable. We need to be sustainable, and we're going to have a big hurdle in the beginning to get ourselves on board to make those numbers. Because think about going from, I think right now we're lucky if we hit 15,000 gross for eBay a month right now. We need to be doing 45 gross or net. So that's a huge jump. I have the inventory to do it, in my opinion, and basically it's just the work behind it. So the problem that I'm having right now is scaling down a 31,000 square foot retail store and closing it is taking up all my time. So I cannot focus my energy on the e-commerce side of it. So basically what's happening here, guys, is my two, or actually my one eBay lister right now that's only working like 2 days a week is basically keeping the algorithm going. And then basically what we're going to do is in December, when we shut down Black Friday weekend, in December, what we're going to do is we're going to start really hitting it hard. We're gonna list before then. So probably next month, I'm gonna start putting it in my schedule to start listing, because keep in mind I'm doing all my packing, and that's taking up a lot of my energy in the morning. So what I need to do is just put in like maybe a half an hour to an hour a day out of my day into listing, and then just see what I can do for there. Because when I was listing myself back in the day, I was getting up to like 50 listings, good listings a day, and that was all vintage stuff. That was not the stuff that you just scan and you just put up. So the way that I look at this, once we get AI involved, it's going to be basically we're gonna hope to hit at least 50 per day per person listing, and then I think with that, we'll be able to fill our funnel again, because right now we're right about 1,800 listings with a total of like I think it's like 3,000 quantity, 4,000 quantity, somewhere around there, because we got high numbers of certain items. So basically, the idea is to, whatever we bring over, get that all listed, by halfway through the year, when if we get that concession for the 6 months. Once that kicks in, then we'll be ready for third and fourth quarter, and then that's going to basically give us the room to grow even more with sourcing other inventory that's going to give us a higher margin, because right now liquidation margin, um, from us, we're like 50%. I think this month we're at 50% margin. We need to be at like 80% margin. We need to be at like 90% margin. Back in the day when I was doing vintage, some of my buys were allowing me to 10 times my money. Some of them actually were even way more than that. And when I get time to kind of slow down and get everything going where it's consistent, I have a lot of historical numbers that I can show with you guys, and I can actually show you guys what we were doing. Because at one point, my eBay store, when we were here, and I had 3 listers, 30 hours a week, we were actually doing 30,000 gross. So that shows me that the capability of hitting those numbers is there, and all you got to do is just hit it hard. The problem with what was happening was all that stuff that was listed, it all sold. So all the good stuff sold. So now we have to figure out our current inventory for eBay. What is going to get us to jump those numbers? And one of the things that I was against for the longest time, but I'm going to start using this tool, is best offer. And a lot of people will say, well, why haven't you been doing best offers all along? Well, what we've been doing on eBay is we were basically setting our prices at the last buy price. So basically what that means is, every item that I was selling was the cheapest on eBay. I don't think that model is going to work anymore, because now there's more resellers getting into the industry, and a lot of people are getting the same inventory that I'm getting. And because the club loads are everywhere, all those brands are starting to be oversaturated on the eBay. So it's going to be a game of me getting all my stuff up that I got, and to get through it, and then the next stage to start getting more specialized items, kind of like the vintage, or maybe even higher ticket items, and then that's what we're going to start focusing on. So next year, I'm hoping, is going to be our best year ever with how much we make as owners. So to get there, what I'm going to do is, when we start sourcing again, I'm not going to start taking these nickel and dime orders or items for our orders, because what's happening is, when you race to the bottom, a lot of our items, we're walking away with $5. And when you're talking, you have to pack up 30 items a day, and you're only making $5 an item. That's not sustainable, guys. So be careful what you're doing, because there's a lot of platforms out there that you can make a lot of money. You have to know the ins and outs and what your actual cost is, not what you paid for it, because that means nothing if items are being raced to the bottom with. So yeah. So I'll give you an update on Christmas trees, right? So we did all these flat pricing Christmas trees. If you look at these piles, they're going down. We're selling trees, but they're not anywhere near the amount that we need to be selling to get through this. Yesterday, we actually had a pretty good day. About 690 items left my store. I saw that the last couple of days since Wednesday, I think, Wednesday we reopened for the week, and I made some posts saying that the store's closing. Wednesday was the busiest day of our month. Yesterday was busy. Today we're hoping to be really busy, and if we can keep this trend up that we're seeing right now, we actually will be fine at the end of the when the store closes. We'll have extra money, but the problem is if we're not hitting $4,000 a day, $5,000 a day or higher, we are putting ourselves at a huge risk of the next stage not being able to do anything, because what's going to happen is capital that you have is going to be burned through, or we're going to have the problem where it's going to be burned through, and then we're not going to have any buying power which we're really not going to be doing buying, but like we're not going to have anything to get us ahead. And that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get ahead right now with all my inventory that's in this whole building. So when we have that December where we're moving and resetting up, it's going to probably take us the majority of the month to get this place empty, and it's going to take the majority of the month to get us moved in. So December, I'm not counting on anything except for sales. So on top of that, guys, on top of the moving, both locations, we have to be doing packing. So the second we take down our eBay store in this building and move it, it needs to be operational 100% of the time. We might have to turn it off for a day or two, and I really don't want to do that. But just keep in mind, when you move all your inventory over, you have a huge risk of screwing everything up with where the locations are. So whoever's involved with touching my racks in eBay has to be watched. They cannot be just like, oh, something fell off the shelf, I'm just going to put it over here. No, we basically what I'm going to do is just have movers wrap my racks, and then we're going to move over the racks with shrink around them, and then that way nothing falls out of it. So I got to be managing that whole scenario and not letting any time pass where my eyes are not on what's going on. So I talk about deals and disasters. That could be a huge disaster. It's more than we're having a problem right now with eBay listings incorrect. Think about if these mover people just start grabbing stuff, knocking stuff over, and not telling you that that thing fell, and they just set it right on a different shelf that it had nowhere to go. Because then what's going to happen with that? Who knows if it even gets lost in transit? Who knows if somebody puts it somewhere else and then we can't find it? But there's a lot of risks involved with this move in the middle of a live operation of eBay. So that's going to be a huge thing for me to go through and make sure that we don't bite ourselves in the foot for doing all this. I mean, we have no choice. We do have another tenant that's going to be taking this building, and it did get approved through the village. I think there's one more approval that they're waiting for, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen, guys. Like either way, we're moving out of here because we cannot sustain the rent with the traffic that we're getting. And what makes me kind of just bothered, the fact that now we're starting to see more traffic now that we're closing. So now the vultures are coming and they're trying to get all the deals. So we have to now, in the middle of everything, we have to protect what we have against the people that are just going to just beat us down and disrespect us by saying, they're only willing to pay us a little amount of money, which is way under cost, and then take it or leave it. You never want to be in a position, guys, where your customers are controlling your business on what they're paying. And we think that the area that we're in right now, there's a lot of that going on. And that's one reason why I'm not going to continue to do retail, because I don't want to spend my days explaining to somebody the value that we're providing to those that don't understand it. Because there's a lot of customers that did understand the value, and a lot of customers made the purchase, but then now there's a lot of customers saying, I'll give you less than what you're asking, and the price that we're asking is either at half retail or under half retail, or even just like a clearance price, right? So think about example, there's this hose reel that we have, 100 retail. I was getting $50 for it. Now I had 30 on it, and I think I put 20 on it. Somebody's already talking me down on that. So tell me that a $20 price on a $100 hose reel is not fair. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm telling you that I need to get away from, because my energy and a lot of people say, well, don't let it bother you. Well, when it keeps going, guys, over and over and over again, and when you're trying to make ends meet, and every time that you have a potential sale, somebody's talking you down, don't tell me that that's not going to take a toll on you mentally. And that's what's been happening. That's why I've been absent, because I've been trying to get myself in order personally, because I'm getting to the point now where I just want this store to be gone, because I'm tired of dealing with it every second. There was a guy the other day that I told no last week. He came back again yesterday, and he basically had the same thing. He had a broken backsplash, a huge one that was in two pieces. He wanted to give me $5 for it, and I had $10 on it. Now tell me that a marble backsplash, right? And this is what gets me. in the area, the same one that he had, I had one that was not broken. I had one that was $10. It was twice the size. It was like a 72-inch one, the same thing. He could have bought that one for $10. But what did he do? He came back not once, but twice, brought a broken one on, and who knows if he even broke it, because I don't keep track of that stuff. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not able to watch what's going on in my sales floor most of the time. And there's people like pulling stuff. Like this guy tried to buy a TV the other day. He had actually buying it. He swapped the tags. And immediately when I walked over there to help him with the TV, I said, this tag does not go with this TV. This is a 75-inch TV. This is an 85-inch TV. So the guy pulled the little switcheroo on me, was trying to get a good deal, and then basically he bought it, but he basically was just like the whole time just trying to cheat me and tell me how I have to, focus on what we're doing when we have customers like that nonstop trying to take advantage of us. So we're getting rid of retail. The next stage is everything's going to be buy it now. Everything's going to be where the people make the choice to make their bid or whatever. There's not going to be people having the ability to come into a location and play car dealer. Let's make a deal with me. It's done. So all you guys who think that you're going to have a discount store or open to the public, you need to keep in mind that is the reality of the situation. In my area, I don't know, like some areas, maybe down south where there's not so many discount stores, maybe they don't have that problem. But there's no discount stores around here, so I don't understand how we invited this whole scenario into our retail space. We never invited it, but it's happening. So we need to get that out. We need to get retail out of the equation. Now it'd be a different story if it was like a bin store, right? All the prices are what they are. You're not going to get people saying, here's a whole cart full of stuff where you take $100 when it should be 150. You're not going to see that. You're going to see, when you're a small business owner, you're going to see people coming in, and every little item that you have laying around right here, they're going to say, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I want it cheaper. I want it cheaper. Well, if we could, we would put the retail price on everything. We do it on some things, but that's the kind of stuff that gets to me, where I'm trying to take, I'm sitting in my office trying to figure out, doing my, what was it? The announcement for us closing to the news press release. And basically I got called up to the front to talk about a $5 item. That was the backsplash I was just talking about. So basically I was in the middle of trying to figure out how to get my store, to the press release. And we got, and I got pulled away over $5. That shows you the extreme that this has gone to. And that shows you why I can't get stuff done. And I told my employees, stop bringing me up front to talk to customers, because I know what they want. They want to make a deal, and I'm not making deals. They want a deal. Come back November 30th, the last day that we're open, and then we'll talk. And that's what I've instructed everybody to say, because the people that are going to start trying to disrespect us, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care about saving face with my customers, when the next stage, the people that follow us are the people that are going to be willing to pay the prices that we're asking. And those are the customers that you want. You don't want the customers that are every time they come in here, no matter what price you put on something, it's a game to them, guys. You got to stop not encouraging it, but giving them the ability to do that. This whole thing with us sellers tailoring to those type of people, it's got to stop. So eBay's the same thing. Everybody does best offers. Now I have to take my business model and change it, because I'm pretty sure if I start adding or best offer, and actually accepting offers and not blocking people, I'm pretty sure that my sales will increase. So basically, eBay is going to kind of be like a retail store where the customer has the control. I'm going to have to limit that, guys. eBay needs to be a third stream of revenue for us, and not a relied on one. So that's what we need to do. When we do the auctions, the person puts the bid in, that's the price that they're willing to pay, and that's how you do it. And you know what? In volume, guys, not by buying a load, 70,000 retail, you pay a certain margin, and you're like, okay, well, I got to put everything at 50% to make this amount of money. That doesn't work anymore, guys. I'm telling you right now, everybody wants fast, and they want easy, and they want cheap. So Amazon gives them fast and easy, but most cases it doesn't give you cheap. Sometimes it does. eBay, it's not fast and easy because you got to wait for the item to be packed and shipped. But if it's something where they can locally pick it up and they can bid every day at their convenience, and then they can name their price, that's the business model that needs to be tried. Because I can tell you right now, last night, I need something for my new location. I need a water filtration system. I don't have any because all the ones that I got in my loads were all used. So I was going to buy one off of a competitor because I recognized that was a $389 water filtration system, and I didn't get the bid, or I didn't win the bid, but it ended up going for like $95. So I mean, that's under 30% that went for. Somebody saw the value. He made his margin because the thing is the item was not purchased for anywhere near $90. So that's when I need to start chasing. I need to start chasing those scenarios where it's a numbers game. Yeah, I'm not going to make the 50% margin, but it's going to be volume. It's going to be 100 orders like that where I made $20. That's $2,000 a day. I think our number that we need to hit, it's a little bit over $1,000 a day, and it's very obtainable because I've had $1,000 days on eBay, just not a lot of them. So what I need to do is take my existing inventory that's on eBay, put best offers on it, stop being so proud about or whatever, stuck on getting a certain amount of money, and just start moving volume. And then hopefully what happens is, I think we got like over 400 people that follow me on eBay. Hopefully that it starts becoming a thing. We're going to rebrand our business to a much understandable logo and name that's going to really just hone in on what we're trying to do. And then what's going to happen is, hopefully the branding rebrand is gonna start picking up. People are gonna understand that it's not the old Marty Joe, because we gotta get Marty Joe totally out of it, because basically a lot of people know that that's where you go to haggle. So I got to get that out. We got to put it into a thing where it looks more professional, more legit, more relevant, and we're going to try it that way. So I really feel like 2026 is going to be a huge difference in what we saw the last 5 years. The traction is going to be there, and then the idea is to get it going next year, and then look at hiring people, and then give them SOPs on how to run the store, and hopefully us having the weekends off is going to help us get our mental life back in order, because I mean it's taking a toll. We haven't taken any vacations, so I'm going to put a hard stop on having the weekends of working, because that's something that since I started this business, I really took that away from myself. So that's going to come back, and then hopefully by end of next year, throughout this journey, you guys are going to see a whole different side of this business that we created, and I'm glad I'm documenting it, because I personally want to see what becomes of this, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know if we're going to fail. I don't know if all the decisions that I made throughout this business basically put us into bankruptcy, because remember, there's a lot of debt that we took on to keep the place open. I think there was 2 times this year I borrowed money just to keep the place open, because I got burned on some buys. So that's the biggest thing for me, guys, is just to protect my livelihood, get something going again, because in the beginning it was good. There was enough where I didn't have to pay myself. I took all that money, put it into the business, and I bought a huge amount of inventory, but times have changed. I mean, we're seeing corporations coming in, bidding out these contracts with all these big providers. We're seeing auction houses pop up everywhere, buyouts happening where people are buying other people out to take what they've built, like YouTube channels and auction houses. A lot of people have been making smart moves in this industry, and we haven't. So we need to get on board here. We know a lot about what's going on. We know a lot about what people are being successful with, and now it's going to be my time to not have to worry about 10 years from now if I'm going to have the ability to retire. Because basically the way it was working, when I first started this, it was looking good. I was looking at, by the time I was 50, the way that it was going, I could have stepped back if it would have just kept on going the way it went. But now I think I lost 10 years, honestly. So we'll see. Maybe maybe the next stage will also teach me not to tailor every person that comes to me to try to get a piece of me, because it seems like that's what was going on. And that's the part where it drains you mentally, guys. When nothing's good enough, you're giving the absolute most value that you can. No one else is in the area doing what you're doing, and it's still not good enough. So that's the part I need to try to take out. And then I think with all that weight on my shoulders taken off, I think that what's going to happen is I can focus on what's going on around me, and not be so worried about giving my stuff away just so I can pay the bills, which is basically the mo that's going on right now. Um, so yeah, that's my rant, guys. Drop a line, make a comment, tell me if you're gonna if you're learning anything from this. Tell me what you're doing, because like honestly, like there's a lot of good information out there everywhere. You just got to find it, and then you got to do the work. So when you take your energy every day, 14 hours sometimes, and it yields nothing, you got to know when to pull the plug on that, because that's not sustainable, guys. So don't be getting yourself in a position where I got into, where you think that you got to go big and bad. It's not going to happen. Big and bad is a lot of overhead. Get yourself a small crew if you need to, but make sure that the people that are working for you are on board and they're in it to win it. They're not just here collecting a paycheck, because when they're collecting a paycheck, think about all that stuff that they don't care about, that you have to deal with the consequences. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Have a good day.